Hey guys, I'd like to talk about the Cleveland shooter that's still on the loose right now. I think he's in another state, and they have like a $50,000 reward to catch him. And hopefully they do. Hopefully somebody shoots this guy in the face, because he deserves it for what he did to that old man. But other than that, this event made me think of a few different things. Well, first of all, there's been a lot of people calling out CNN saying that they're blaming this attack on video games, when in reality they're actually not this time. I can totally understand that you would think that, considering they've done it in the past multiple times and will do it again in the future, most likely. So yeah, I don't really fault anybody for reacting, rashly immediately when they bring up video games in the context of this attack. But in this particular instance, they weren't blaming the video games. Watch the actual video and read some articles on it. It's this time they're not being dicks. But this also made me think about the police force and the efficiency of things that are run by the government and monopolies. Well, this guy is still on the loose. Like, he still hasn't been found. He had a Facebook Live. He was doing this Facebook Live. They still didn't find him. They must have been alerted to it when he was on there. Like, I don't really understand how the police force haven't found him yet. And they're obviously doing their best. But it really comes down to what I think is manpower a lot of the times. And, when we have the police force and the amount of money we're paying for each police officer, we're not really getting the best bang for our buck. Like, if we were to have more of a private system, we could, and we hire more private security type things. You could hire 4 private security for 1 police officer. So if you had 4 private security, or times 4 the amount of 4 times the amount of police officers on the street, do you think we would have caught this guy by now? Maybe not, but I think the chances would be much higher of catching him, and just the crime in general would be much lower because there's more eyes on the ground, more people watching what's going on. But not only that, they would have more incentive to actually do a good job, because they can be fired. It's look at nowadays what cops do, and they get a slap on the wrist. And I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, blame the cops, they're evil, this and that, it's all their fault. But we got to recognize that it is a boys' club, and they do have a monopoly on power, and they can do whatever the fuck they want. And like, it's a lot of them probably are there for good reasons and want to help people, but at the end of the day, they have very little incentive to care about you. It's more about filling quotas and being a tax collector, essentially. They're tax collectors for the state. So if we were to employ them more on a lower, or like a community style level, there would be a lot less corruption, and they would actually do their job much better. And like I'm saying, I'm not blaming police for this, because yeah, they didn't go out and shoot the guy. Like, that guy deserves to be shot in the head. Like, he deserves death. But I'm just pointing to the fact that if we had 4 times as many people, he would have been caught, or most likely would have been caught. And we're still going to continue having problems with crime, etc., and people feeling safe when we have a lack of manpower, and when we're overpaying people to do a job that they don't really have to do too well because they have a monopoly. On top of that, we're not really asking for much. Like, look at the Berkeley protests, or when Antifa came, like, the cops stood down. Like, they've been doing that a lot lately. They just stand down and watch. So, perhaps we need to think of getting off of the government system and going towards more of a private system. I know people are going to freak out about that. And, it's private systems bad, capitalism bad, competition is bad, but why wouldn't competition be good in this aspect? You can have that healthcare debate about competition, but I don't understand why it wouldn't be beneficial with the police force. especially if you were to get rid of a lot of the top power from the government. Like, the reason a lot of these institutions have powers because the government has so much power to dole out, to give away. So even in a private system, it would still be better, but with a large government controlling them and giving out the money, they're still going to have, they're still going to go to them to lobby. When they're making all these laws, they're still going to go to the government to lobby to create new laws so that they can, have a job, a sustainable job that lasts for a long time. So there's, a reason for them to be out there. But if we do it more at the community level, then, the cops would actually be working for us, and they would actually do their job. And killers like this on the loose would be caught already or shot. And so that's just something to think about. I'm sure there's lots of disagreements, and I probably didn't explain it too well, but I'm willing to talk about it and see what happens. But if you like my content, subscribe and have a great day.